The darkness closes around me, grasping, pulling, engulfing me. The ground caves in, and without warning, I'm falling. My eyes snap open. For an instant, it doesn't immediately register where I am. Both my back and shoulders ache after I've fallen asleep all hunched up the night before. Drenched in sweat, the nest of pillows I often keep around me feels more suffocating than comforting. I let my eyes adjust to the bright morning light streaming through my windows and allow my breathing to slow down before untangling myself from the pile. I haven't had a single dream since coming to Luxborn, or at least none I can recall having. I want to look around her house. It's a cute picture of her and Becca. Your house is a mess, you should clean it. It's a shame because they used to be so vivid. Not the crazy vivid, but the more pleasant kind I'll tell my siblings about. Maybe it's the stress of living alone. The knowledge that I've always wake up in an empty apartment with no one to tell stories to.
What time is it?
Habit forces me to look over the clock, even with the soreness weighing heavily on my shoulders and the compulsion to never leave my bed for the day. In a heartbeat,
Oh man, of all the times to oversleep! Towel! Towel! Where's my towel?
Admittedly, it's a weekend, as an unspoken rule that entitles me to an extra hours of sleep. But if Rose didn't kill me yesterday, she sure as hell will now. And right after what happened. Oh lord, one box of donuts as peace offerings won't be enough the second time around. Grabbing my towel, I'm already a few short steps from the bathroom when a muffled ringing breaks out from my bag. There's a moment of indecision as first, my mind conflicted whether I should just ignore or answer it. But what if it's Rose? Or worse, our boss? Ah, sheesh. In the end, the rational part of my brain wins out. The letter from yesterday peeks out when I pull the device out. I just say phone. Just the sight of it is enough to make me in a foul mood, and takes every force of will for me to ignore it in favor of answering the call. The caller reads, Mama.
Huh?
It's around 4:45 p.m. in the Philippines right now.
That's an unusual time for them to call.
Usually it's around noontime here, and I'm the one calling, but not the other way around. Better for them to use that money on something else than an international call. Regardless, in the most cheerful tone I can gather.
Hello? Grace? How are you?
Mama! I'm doing okay. How are you guys over there?
Lots of ramen.
We're good. EJ won a storytelling contest at school the other week. Brought home a medal. I thought you should know.
There's a tired lilt in her voice as she speaks. It's been there since Papa had to leave his job. I wish there's something I could do for her. But from miles away like this, the least I'm able to do is not make her worry. If only my older brother would actually lend her a hand, but Lord knows if that'll ever happen. Odds are, Kuya Jordan's already out drinking right now. Again. Can't count on my older sister either, knowing she has a family of her own and, well, 8 Anne's financial situation isn't exactly great right now, having ran herself knee-deep in
Great!
debt.
That's great! Tell him congratulations from me. And let him know I'm gonna send him a little something extra this Christmas. How about Nico? Karen? Michael? I hope they're okay?
They're doing well. They wanted to talk to you, but they're all busy with school.
Oh no, that's fine. I don't want to bother them. Just tell them to keep doing their best for me. I'll just call back when I know they're not busy. And Papa? How's Papa doing?
As a subject, I'm a bit hesitant to broach. From the way Mama's voice hitches, she doesn't want to bring it up either.
Grace, he's having a little difficulty right now. Weak appetite, he's having trouble swallowing, and lost a few pounds. But the doctor said we should keep encouraging him. It just means his body's accepting his new treatment well. The money you sent last time helped a lot to pay for it, by the way.
Oh, I see. That's good.
I won't deny that life has gotten tougher for our family. It used to be easy back when Papa was in good shape. But ever since he was diagnosed with a sickness 5 years ago, he had been unable to provide for us. Now the burden of feeding 8 mouths and settling Papa's bills all rest on my shoulders. Although Mom makes a little, accepting sewing and laundry jobs in our neighborhood, it's scarcely enough to cover the cost of day-to-day living, let alone the bloating hospital bills. We can't even expect help from our own government because the health insurance there barely covers anything.
I'm sure he'll get better soon. Is he well enough to talk? Do you think I'll be able to speak to him, Ma?
Silence. I started to think the call got cut
Listen,
until...
Grace, maybe it's better if we transfer Papa to a different hospital. Somewhere cheaper?
What? Why? Did something happen? Is it the deposit issue again? Give me the hospital's number. I'll talk to them.
No, it's nothing bad. The service here is good. Too good. Even the doctors. But I'm worried you're working yourself to the ground because of it.
Mama, we've been through this before. I want the best for Papa. And don't worry about the bills or the medicine, or me for that matter. I can handle myself. Everything's going well here. In fact, we're about to close a large sale.
Hopefully. If not, I'll find another way. She doesn't need to know that. Sorry, Mama. You taught me not to lie, yet look at what
I'll
I'm doing.
have money to send over soon to cover the rest of Papa's treatment. And there's more than enough for Karen, Nico, Michael, and EJ's school tuition, too.
Thank you so much, dear. I appreciate it. We all do. But I just wish you'd come home to us soon.
When are you coming home? EJ the youngest used to be the only person asking me that. How do you respond to a question you don't have a definitive answer to? Or definite. 5 years later, and still can't give them a straight one. I smile, though Mama can't see it. I figured to keep my lips from quivering, my voice from shaking. She's got enough on her plate as it is. No need to weigh her down with unnecessary
Promise me
concerns.
you'll be there to welcome me when I do, okay?
Of course. I'm sorry, Grace. I need to take this for a while.
There's a small commotion on the other end. The sound of gates opening, the voice of the child EJ talking excited about his day at school and tapping a feet on the floorboards as he runs. It's been years since I went home, but I can still picture the whole scene in my mind. How tall is he now? Are the neighborhood kids bullying him now that I'm not around? Did Mama rearrange the furniture in the living room again? What are they having for dinner today? I miss them. I miss them so much.
It's okay, Ma. I need to go too. I've got work today. I'll call again soon, alright?
On a Saturday? Oh, never mind. Take care of yourself, dear. I love you.
I love you. Bye.
It ends with a soft click, leaving half-truths and empty promises hanging in the air. Closing my eyes for a moment, I take a deep breath and shake away the thoughts beginning to swim inside my head. It's pointless to mull over these things right now.
Okay, Isabella. Time to get that mansion sold.
Unfortunately, before I can take a single step away from my phone, it rings again. No doubt Mama forgot to say
Mama?
something.
Did you forget anything?
Excuse you? I'm too young to be your mom. Are you still sleeping? Hold on, never mind that. Get yourself in the office. Hurry!
Office? What about the open house? Oh no. Is it Sir John? Did he hear about yesterday? Am I in trouble? Oh god, oh god, oh god! I'm gonna get yelled at, aren't I? What do I do? I'll buy you an extra box of donuts if...
No, it's nothing like that. Will you calm down? Get yourself here, alright? I'll tell you everything then.
There's the telltale din of several feet shuffling against the wooden floor, and an instinctive yelling in the background before Rose cuts the connection. That isn't in any way comforting, but it's enough reason for me to hastily discard my phone and finish my shower in record time. I make it to our office within 20 minutes of leaving my apartment, completely disheveled and out of breath. A feat, if I take into account my usual travel time. Routine clamor, common to Brer Realty Corporation's Luxburn office, greet me as soon as my foot crosses the threshold. Papers rustling, telephones ringing at sporadic intervals, agents talking at varying volumes, staff moving about,
Where
and...
the hell is C? Where are my employees? What the actual fuck, guys? Of all the times to disappear without notice!
My boss's words turn muffled as someone else closes the door to his office, like the work of an HR manager. Throughout the past week, he's been in a bad mood over a few employees who have failed to report to work. I hear they're still trying to get a hold of them, but to no avail. The result is, half their workload have been shifted to all available staff so as to not lose clients. Not that I mind the extra work. If anything, it means I'll have more to send to my family back home. Although the rumors of the branch closure circulating because of this is indeed a bit worrisome. My bag barely touches the top of my table and Rose pulls me aside.
I need you to help me with these papers. If you could also get these signed and photocopied before lunch today, that would be great.
One after another, she thrusts a bunch of paperwork in my hands without explanation. A page flutters away from the top of the pile and I lean down to pick it up, my eyes scanning the top of the pages as I straighten. The purchase and sales agreement. Rose simply gestures with her thumb in the direction of our visitor lounge when I tilt my head in question. There, sitting on the sofa and looking completely out of place in the humble decorated room, is the same couple from the day before. The Wrights. Something bubbles up in my throat. Their presence in the office can only mean
They're
one thing.
buying it? We got a deal?
She swats at my hand, tugging her sleeve, although her eyes are alight with something akin to joy. She wants the sale to happen as much as I do, and now that it's here, The deal needs to be closed, yet documents need to be signed still, but the elation is there. Along with a foreboding feeling it can't quite
I had to
pinpoint.
do a little damage control, but they're already interested in acquiring the property, even before they attended the open house. I mean, isn't it obvious? They already hired an interior designer. I've never seen a buyer as aggressive as Madame Wright. She didn't even try to negotiate a lower rate.
One at a time, Rose. I can't process everything you're saying at once. What do you mean?
They're paying 15% higher than the listing price, as long as we get the paperwork done as soon as possible. I think if we allow it, they'll be paying up front, too.
Even with that urban legend? Oh,
Rose nods.
I was so sure we lost the sale after yesterday.
Don't look so surprised. We still have to conduct some last few checks before we completely hand it over to them.
Please. I'll happily do the paperwork duty, Rose. I'll even go to the land registry myself and make sure the property changes hands with every single legal blessing.
Don't they have better things to spend money on? I'd haggle it down to the lowest possible price if I were in their place, especially with the stories attached to it. Not that my opinion matters one bit here. We're just their agents who are going to receive the hefty commission, after all, nothing more. Rose gives me a pat on the shoulder, saying that she's heading back to them. An unspoken instruction for me to follow after I'm done. It doesn't take me long to finish what work she left me. In fact, having our boss sign the agreement is the easiest, since it has put him in a better mood to the entire office for his leave. Ma'am Hannah calls me over the moment she notices my presence at the lounge door. She welcomes me with a bright smile, her movements more open than what one would typically expect from passing client to have.
Isabel! How are you feeling? You looked awfully dreadful yesterday.
Isabella, I'm fine now, ma'am. I appreciate your concern.
I really don't understand why she can't get my name right. It's a fairly common name. It shouldn't be too hard to remember. Regardless, I hand them their copy of the
Wonderful.
agreement.
Your team works unbelievably fast.
Ma'am Hannah skims through each of them with a scrutinizing eye, checking every page for inconsistencies and errors. Despite the unassuming impression she gives off, she appears fully aware of what to look for and the process contracts like these undergoes. It is surprising. To be quite honest, I haven't pegged her for someone who is well versed in these things, yet here she is. She shows some of it to her husband, and he responds with the same passive interest as he's more than happy to leave everything to her. I can't tell if it's purely because he believes she's capable enough, doesn't care about what they are buying, or he simply finds paperwork tedious. Apparently satisfied with what she's seen, Ma'am Hannah claps her hands together before extending it to us for a shake. Rose and I release the breath we've been holding, both of us more than happy to return
That
the
settles
gesture.
it then?
Are you really sure about this property, ma'am? We could easily find you a bigger one among our current listings. Something with a modern touch?
Something not haunted, perhaps? Rose shoots me a warning glance that clearly says, "Don't make a scene, we're almost
Of
there."
course, why wouldn't I be? The house is absolutely perfect, isn't it, darling?
A helipad would still be a nice addition.
Yes, well, we'll get there eventually, love. As I was saying, if your partner had the documents yesterday, we would have bought it right there immediately. Shame she didn't have it.
Well, there's still a few necessary documents we need you to sign after, but we'll let you know once we have those finalized. We'll be handling the process for the rest, so don't worry about it, ma'am.
Within a week, I hope. We still have a housewarming party to plan, after all.
Iris?
You know how much thought to be put into those things.
There are servants for that, darling.
Love, wouldn't it be better if we handled it ourselves? A personal touch of sorts. It is our housewarming party and our new home.
No more than a week, ma'am. Barring unexpected delay, of course. You can leave it to us.
Excellent. Well then, I'll leave you two to it. It's been a pleasure doing business with you. Oh, and before we forget...
She discreetly folds something into both our hands and winks, a finger raised to her lips, demanding our
I know
silence.
both of you worked hard on getting us this beautiful mansion. Did I mention we reward our people generously?
But this is... Ma'am, I can't accept this.
Don't you worry, darling. It's a small thing coming from us. Consider this your bonus for a job well done.
And the memory of names like an asshole. Can't get the girl's name right, it's one letter off. She smiles sweetly, like this is simply the most normal thing to do in the
Oh,
world.
before I forget, my lovely interior designer would appreciate it if you hand her a copy of the floor plan as soon as possible. She's dying to work on the house. You can do that, yes? Here's her contact.
Certainly, ma'am. We'll have it processed as soon as possible.
I knew I could count on you, lovelies. I hope to see you two soon so we can get this closed.
Just like that, transaction over and done with. My mind's still reeling even after they left. Other agents would kill to have clients like them. A part of me feels lucky about the fact. No lengthy negotiations, no sudden change of minds, just talk and signatures. A few handshakes here and there and we're done. The other part? A second ago, we sold a haunted property to 2 innocent clients. Sure, the commission's big. Big enough to continue funding Papa's treatment and hospitalization. Big enough to pay for all 4 of my younger brother's schooling. Heck, it'll keep me away from instant noodle diet for months. I have to go back to the mansion as well, once the deal has been closed, much to my sanity's relief. But knowing that something's in there, and we gave it to a good couple despite it? Oh, Isabella. The things you do to sell a house and get money, Papa won't be happy with that. At least I have good news to tell next time I call. The little lie I told Mama this morning isn't a lie anymore.
There's something. So how does it feel?
How does what feel?
Your first big multi-million-pound sale, silly. I know you've been with us for years, but this has got to be memorable for you.
Memorable is an understatement, Rose.
Come on, show some enthusiasm. They gave us a bonus, too, aside from the commission and the other bonus boss promised. What are you gonna do with it?
I don't know. Send it home, probably?
All of it?
Not everything, of course. Most of it. I'll leave some for my living expenses.
Listen here, Isabella. I'll teach you something I should have told you before we ended your training.
She slings an arm over my shoulder and leans in closer to my ear, as though she's about to share a
It's
big secret.
okay to celebrate from time to time.
I don't get it.
It's simple. Go out, do something for yourself. Throw a party and treat your friends to free food. Didn't you say the last one's some sort of tradition back at home for you? Hello, this is practically a done deal.
Isn't throwing a party a bit excessive?
Your call. I won't say no to an invitation, by the way, in case you really are planning to throw one. A few drinks would be nice too,
Why don't
thank you
throw
very
one,
much.
Rose? Why don't you throw one?
I don't think my apartment's big enough for that.
You could always move? Bloody hell, you're working in real estate.
I think I'll pass. That's too much of an unnecessary expense for me. But I did promise Becca free lunch in case the sale goes well.
You go do that. Hold on a sec.
She quickly removes herself from me to answer the phone at her desk. Her tone shifts from playful to professional in a span of a few
Today?
seconds.
Not a problem, ma'am. I could bring you a copy of the contract if...
Must be another client. Nothing surprising there. She's one of BRC's top agents, no matter how modest she appears. A saleswoman through and through. I, on the other hand, have very little knack for it. Of course, I learned, eventually, I had to, but someone else will, without a doubt, do a better job. Once, though, in a drunken stupor, Rose told me a story of what could have been years ago. Wide-eyed, young, and brimming with yet to be filled dreams and ambitions, she was a term or two away from a nursing degree. Out of courtesy, I never pressed on the matter further, but perhaps it's where the sense of fondness comes from. A small connection due to one similar experience in our respective lives. Our goals we both let pass us by because of the circumstances we're
I'd be
in.
happy to discuss this over tea, ma'am. All right, I'll be there. Thank you.
New client?
Reassigned. Have you heard from Mark at all?
Not since the first visit to the mansion. Why? No news from the HR yet?
None at all. Boss thinks he ran away. I doubt it, though. He's too much of a wimp for that. There must be another reason. Who knows? Anyway, I've got to meet this one. I'll see you later.
She throws a wave over her shoulder as she rushes out of the office. Lunchtime bell sounds shortly after, followed by the chatter of fellow agents also heading out for a much-needed break. Ordinarily, there's no need for me to go out, but oversleeping didn't allow me the luxury of packing my own lunch today. If one considers taking an instant noodle cup from my pantry, packing your lunch. Trying to make it good on the promise I made to Becca, I suppose. Maybe invite Zach and Ash too.